your nation, your province, your southern Alberta. From the heart of Lethbridge, it's Bridge City News Weekend Edition with Jeanette Roche.
Hello and welcome to a special Bridge City News Weekend Edition from the Calgary Stampede. Thanks for joining us. The Prime Minister made a special stop right here at the Calgary Stampede last weekend. While he was here, he attended a pancake breakfast, toured the grounds, and spoke at a Liberal fundraiser.
These 10 days are incredibly important in terms of tourism and just the community building that we're able to do with Stampede. So it was great to talk to the Prime Minister and, the shared responsibility we have for things like this. We had a great conversation about the vibe that he's feeling in the city, his words. So it's really good to make sure that the federal government is aware that Calgary is in good shape.
Well, it's like a celebrity moment. It's cool. It was cool. It was cool to see him, right? I didn't expect him in Calgary, to be honest. Not in Stampede, absolutely not. Oh, it's mad crowded today. But it's fun. It's my first Stampede, so it's a cool time. We weren't expecting these, so many people, but it's awesome to be here, and we're just enjoying the food, the sights, the events, things to do.
Prime Minister Trudeau says it's important to attend this year's Calgary Stampede to celebrate the greatest outdoor show on earth with Albertans.
I know Stampede is an extraordinary time for people coming across the country, gathering to celebrate, gathering to enjoy pancakes and celebrate everything about Calgary in the West. And I'm just incredibly excited to be here. We've been working hard for you, but you've all been working hard as well.
CPC leadership frontrunner Pierre Poilievre returned back to his hometown of Calgary to attend the festivities and also hoping to drum up more support for his campaign. He says he wants to give Canadians more control back over their lives.
We haven't seen a lot of freedom in this country. People feel like they're losing control of their lives. It could be the 14-year-old girl suffering from depression, or the small businessman put out of his business by 2 years of lockdowns, or the person who's lost his job because of a personal medical decision, the trucker who was denied the opportunity to keep delivering our goods just because he did not get vaccinated. Yes, that's the trucker. The single mom skipping meals so her kids don't have to, or the 35-year-old living in mom's basement because he can't afford a house of his own.
We're having so much fun here at the Calgary Stampede grounds, and my producer, Michael Clausen, is over at the grandstand right now. We're going to go to him right now. He caught up with a steer wrestler from Okotoks. Michael?
Thanks, Jeanette. I am down by the grandstands. They are jam-packed. We just had some steer wrestling. This is Harley Cole. You are from Okotoks. Talk to us about what you were doing here today.
I was steer wrestling. It's where you have a hazer and a bulldogger, which is me, the steer wrestler, and you both run out and you catch a steer and you try to throw it on its side in the fastest time.
Fun. So how did you get into this exhilarating sport?
My neighbor was Tom Erickson, an old rodeo cowboy, and he got my brother team roping, and then I just followed along.
Wow. What does this do for your family and community, rodeo?
Oh, it's everything, really. It's taught me everything about life, It teaches you how to get up and down the road and meet people, and it's the Western lifestyle is awesome. It teaches you hard work. To be a good steer wrestler, it just doesn't come easy to you. You got to bear down and get dirty and have lots of bumps and bruises along the way.
You grew up in the foothills.
Yep.
So there's generations of your family on both sides that have been in agriculture. Talk to us about the importance of the foothills and that whole ag industry.
Oh, it's so important. You eat it, you get food from the grocery stores. That's where it comes from. Yeah, it's everything. Farmers and ranchers, they're what feed us, and food is the first step in being healthy, right? So if we neglect on that, then it's going to be hard to feed all these people.
Okay, I think I have 37 last questions, but this is number 37. Next generation after you, what do you see for them in agriculture in Alberta and rodeo?
it's going to be tough, but like technology is like, wow. My grandpa farmed for 70 years, well, his whole life actually, and now there's combines that drive themselves. So like it's, you're going to have to be educated a little bit to fix that kind of stuff. But I think they'll be able to handle it pretty good.
Harley Cole from the grandstands. He's a steer wrestler. I'm going to send this back to our actual expert at Bridge City News, Jeanette Roche.
Thanks so much, Michael. We need to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll have much more from the Calgary Stampede. Stay with us. Well, the United Conservative Party here in Alberta will be announcing their new leader on October 6th. And slowly, new leadership candidates have been coming forward to announce that they've met the requirements to run that race. But will we be seeing a thinning out of those candidates soon? Well, here to discuss is our own Hal Roberts and our correspondent with the National Post, Tyler Dawson.
Tyler, as for the UCP leadership candidates, you say we may see a bit of a thinning of the herd soon, since the actual deadline to enter the race is July 20th?
That's right. So you had sort of all these people announce and start their campaigns, but there is actually sort of an official start, an official time when they need to cough up the money, cough up the signatures, all that kind of stuff to be in. As I think we discussed a little while ago, the fees are substantial. I think $150,000 or $175,000 to enter, and then $25,000 is sort of a deposit, a guarantee of good behavior, essentially. So these are somewhat high bars to clear, and it's a thick herd at the moment. I think 9 people or something like that. So I would expect we see at least a couple people not sort of clear that threshold. Of course, they've got staff going around the Calgary Stampede this week trying to get signatures and all that kind of stuff, because there's all sorts of specific rules about signatures and all those sorts of things. But yeah, we should know in the next few days here what the sort of final slate of contenders is going to look like.
What are your thoughts on Ronna Ambrose joining the Rebecca Schultz campaign?
I think it's a big boost to Rebecca Schultz's campaign. I think a lot of the attention has been on Brian Jean and Danielle Smith and Travis Taves, and Rebecca Schultz has not got quite as much attention. But it's interesting because Ronna Ambrose is one of those names that is always sort of floated as the person who can save the Conservatives, whether that's the federal Conservatives, whether that's the provincial Conservatives. So it's interesting to see her throwing her weight a little bit behind a specific candidate in this race, and that could make some difference here, I think. But it's still very early days. We don't have tons of polling yet on what's going to happen, so it's hard to sort of predict beyond that.
Yeah, I remember interviewing Ronna Ambrose on the Hill when she was health minister under the Harper government, and a very intelligent woman, so she brings a lot of clout to anyone's campaign. Tyler, one of the UCP leadership candidates, Brian Jean, has endorsed the idea of a royalty cut to energy companies. He says this would save Albertans, around 15 cents a litre at the pumps?
It would. Of course, the question is what it would lose the Treasury in money, and whether or not this is a tax cut to corporations, which is what sort of critics have pushed back against this, saying, it's part of the, we're in the phase, shall we say, of the leadership campaign where we're starting to see some sort of concrete policy announcements, and we've seen them from a handful of leaders, and so there's a handful that have been out there, and we'll be looking for more of those certainly in the days ahead.
Some of the UCP leadership candidates have made vaccines and vaccine mandates a major talking point with their platforms. Todd Loewen and Danielle Smith have vowed the lockdowns and mandates will never happen again. But Tyler, let me ask you something. How's that possible if the rules are mandated by Ottawa?
Well, that's the thing. Some of these rules are federal. Some of them are provincial, of course, and the Premier would have some say over that. But, the important thing about this, I think, is not so much the issue of the mandates per se, but more the sort of importance that the pandemic era politics and this sort of schism, this split within the Conservative movement in Alberta is still lingering, I think.
Back here at the Stampede grounds, I sent my producers, Michael and Nav, on a special assignment. Let's check in with them right now and see what they found. Guys?
So every year at Stampede, there's always the celebrities. So I had to go find some. Now, there's politicians and stuff too, but you know who I found? Kevin Bacon on my mac and cheese. Now, that looks really delicious, but we sent Nav to also get some mac and cheese. And what is this?
This is mac and cheese soft serve. This is a thing here at the Calgary Stampede. Look behind me, mac and cheese soft serve.
Okay.
Who would have thought?
So is there bacon?
There's no
That is-
bacon.
that is
Thank
not-
goodness there's no bacon in ice cream.
I don't know. I kind of think you should go to our Twitter. Tell us if you like bacon in your ice cream. So come on, test. Tell us, how does it taste?
Ice cream, mac and cheese.
Do it. Get some.
Well, you know what? It's actually surprisingly good.
Okay.
It's more sweet than savory, which is a good thing. That's what you want out of ice cream.
I agree.
And it kind of tastes like a little bit like a creamsicle.
So I got the hot, you got the cold. We got Kevin Bacon. You know what I think we need? Because it's like rodeo happening over there. We need to see if there's some more cowbell.
Definitely.
Okay, thanks you guys. And I gotta say, mac and cheese ice cream sounds absolutely disgusting. Who does that? But Nav was a big sport, and I guess it was a lot better than it sounds. So we'll have more coming at you from the Stampede right after this short break. Stay with us. Well, the city of Medicine Hat, Alberta is known as the gas city with its sunny days and low cost of living. And after the multi-year reign of Mayor Ted Clugson, the people of the gas city elected Lindsay Clark. Well, Mayor Clark recently sat down with our own Naveen Day to discuss the challenges and the wins behind civic government in the gas city. Take a look.
Now, this is your first term as mayor, and you must have a great team around you. Do you feel that as a city administration, you and the city council have been achieving your goals so far? And what are some of the successes you have seen?
So we have already started some initiatives. So we directed administration to start putting together an environmental framework, which is an important aspect of moving forward, especially as a municipality that owns its own electric and gas utilities. De-risking carbon is a hot topic, and with the increasing cost of carbon, we're looking to make sure that we're in a really good position moving forward with our electric utility.
The other question I want to ask is about the transportation corridors in your area. Can you talk a bit about the twinning of Highway 3 and how that would benefit Medicine Hat area?
Yeah, so we have a Councillor Darren Hirsch, who sits on the Highway Twinning Committee, and we are actually there retaining PricewaterhouseCoopers to complete a study to study the economic footprint on the twinning, the remaining sections of Highway 3 in Alberta. So that study will consist of two components, one being the estimation of the direct and indirect economic and tax footprint that twinning is expected to create. And the other part of the study consists of identifying and assessing wider socioeconomic impacts of twinning.
And what about the airport? There's been a lot of development of the lands around the airport. How do you see this development helping your corner of the province?
Obviously, that with any kind of commercial industrial development, that not only brings in tax revenue for the city, it provides jobs for local residents. And as much as possible, we can do secondary services for some of the industry we already have in Medicine Hat, and create that horizontal integration. But we're looking forward to building it out and providing opportunity for people in Medicine Hat and for people to move to Medicine Hat.
So we're still here at the Stampede, but we're quite a ways up off the grounds right now. Scooter here is actually going to tell us exactly how high we are, because we are in the Super Wheel, which is one of the largest Ferris wheels right now in Canada, for sure. So Scooter is with North American
Midway Entertainment,
thank you. Scooter, tell me about this giant Ferris wheel that's a first now for the Calgary Stampede, right?
Yeah, we're not excited. We're thrilled to bring the Super Wheel to the Calgary Stampede. You know, we came out of Miami in the spring with it, and we came right straight to the Calgary Stampede, and we're setting up, and it's 150 feet tall.
Okay.
It takes 21 tractor trailers to move it on down the road. It's 36 climate-controlled cars, which give you sweeping views of the Calgary Stampede, the Rocky Mountains, the downtown Calgary, the fireworks at night. It's nothing less than spectacular. We're just so excited to have it here.
It's amazing, and it's so cool in here. I was just playing with these. It's air conditioned, if you can believe that. I've never heard of a Ferris wheel before that's air conditioned. It's like being in a much better airplane, actually.
Absolutely.
Way more spacious. Okay, so how did you find this thing, and why bring it to the Stampede?
Well, North American Midway is always on the hunt for brand new rides and brand new attractions, and this ride happened to be in Europe, and we purchased it from Europe and we brought it over in 2019. We did a bunch of upgrades to it to get it ready for our standards, and then we've been playing with fairs, and this is the very first time we've been able to bring it to Canada. So, and this is the largest traveling Ferris wheel in Canada right now.
Well, that's amazing. You're mentioning it was in England, it was in Brussels?
Yeah, it was in Brussels, and also we got it out of Rotterdam. The big story about this is that we're well overriding 90% capacity here at the Calgary Stampede. We had such a great opening weekend. The Super Wheel has proved to be really thrilling, and like I said, we're almost full 100% of the time.
I know, I'm enjoying it for sure. I bet it gets really busy during fireworks time.
Absolutely, there's a great demand for it, that's for sure.
Definitely. How long are fireworks? Not as long as the ride around, I bet.
Well, I think the fireworks go for about 15 minutes, and the total ride here is, by the time you get on and the time that you get off, is a little bit over 11 minutes.
Okay, that's Scooter from North American Midway Entertainment. I'm Jeanette Roche. We'll be right back with more from the Stampede. So I'm standing here inside the Saddle Dome. I'm with Cheryl Crowchief, who is the organizer and coordinator of this beautiful powwow that's happening today at the Calgary Stampede. I've been told it's definitely the largest powwow in Alberta, for sure.
Yes.
Cheryl, why don't you tell us about it?
This is the first powwow that we're having here at the Saddle Dome here in Calgary. Normally, in previous years, the powwow has always taken place across the river at the Elbow River Camp. And so this is literally groundbreaking to have this magnitude of a powwow in this awesome building. So, and like, I'm so honored to be the powwow coordinator for this year. As soon as I knew this was happening, I was like, I want on this, I want on this. And they heard me, so I'm on this.
You are so on this. So tell me, why the change of venue then?
It's a pilot project. It's a pilot project because we wanted to open it wide open, not only to Alberta, not only to Canada, but to the United States and other countries if they want to participate. Honestly, it's just we want to welcome people to come here because we do have the greatest outdoor show on earth, the rodeo, the chuck wagons, the Indian relay. We want them to come now and see the rich culture of the First Nations people here at Treaty 7 traditional territory. We're welcoming everybody to come and see what we can show them. We want to share our culture. We want to share our dance. We want to share our drum. We want to share our culture as a whole, just for people to come and get addicted to what we're addicted to.
So you mentioned there are 100 registered dancers.
For one category.
For one category.
We also have other categories such as the ladies jingle, the ladies traditional, ladies fancy, men's traditional, men's grass, men's chicken, and men's buckskin. And that's double time because we have senior and junior categories.
Wow.
So it is going to be, once the grand entry happens here shortly at 3 o'clock, the dance floor is going to be completely filled with dancers.
It's going to be beautiful. And you mentioned senior and junior. So what are the age limits here?
18 to 34 and then 34 plus.
Okay. And you also mentioned it's open to the whole world. So where are we seeing dancers coming from?
All over Canada, as far as Ontario, and the farthest dancer I believe registered is from Texas. We have representation as well here from Treaty 7. Kelly Crowchief is from here, Treaty 7, as well as he is from the families from the Teepee Village. Theron Black is from the Blood Tribe, he's from Treaty 7. My MCs, Donnie Spidell is from the Saskatchewan. Hal Eagletail is from Sutina.
I love that. And Cheryl, how did you get involved in this?
I am originally from the Pagan Reserve. I met my husband here at the Calgary Stampede. I married him. I've been married to him for 36 years. So I've been in the village for 33 years plus. Like, my kids have all grown up here. And just coming here to dance, I wanted more because I wanted to help out. I wanted to volunteer. I've been a volunteer with the Stampede almost 10 years. So I just jump in wherever I can to help, wherever I can organize, because I love organizing stuff. I love making sure that everything happens great.
Let's talk about the regalia.
Some of our regalia, well, all of our regalia, I should say, is made in traditional sense, whereas grandmothers teach daughters, daughters teach children. So it goes as generational teaching amongst our people, and some of it is actually all compiled with like family helping, sisters, aunts, grandmothers, mothers. They all collaborate, and you know, some of them will do the beadwork, some of them will do the sewing, some of them will do the leather work, the feather work. It's a collaboration of family unity to make sure that our children and our adults all have complete regalia, beaded regalia. Once the powwow starts, you'll understand seeing the vibrancy of the whole regalia. And we refer to it as regalia. It's not a costume because we're not dressing up for Halloween. It's what we used to wear back before the Europeans came. It's cherished for us because a lot of it, like myself, it took me a year to make one of my children's outfits.
Wow.
So some of it takes years. It doesn't just take a month. It doesn't just take weeks. Some of it takes years. Like some of the ladies, their beaded cape is so heavy and it's beaded front and back, and that can take the longest.
That's amazing. It was so great to talk to Cheryl Crow Chief today about the powwow and what all is happening here at the greatest outdoor show on earth as we continue to celebrate Western Canada's heritage. We have to take a quick break, but we will be right back with more from the Stampede. Lethbridge police have arrested a 37-year-old man in connection with the shooting of another man at a Lethbridge tent encampment. BCN's Naveen Day was on the scene and has details for us.
It was shortly after 8 p.m. on Sunday night when police responded to a report of a shooting at this tent encampment, which is located along the 500 block of Stafford Drive South. Upon arrival, a 33-year-old man was located with a gunshot wound. A bystander named CJ tells us what he witnessed.
I thought it sounded like a pellet gun or something, and I had a young lady run over to the tents over here and said her boyfriend was shot. I happen to know the guy, went over there and sat with him until the ambulance came, and he was shot in the leg, lots of pain. Seemed to be a .22 caliber rifle.
Lethbridge Police Service's investigation determined the two males who were both residents of the encampment were involved in a verbal altercation that resulted in the victim being shot before the subject fled the scene. He was arrested without incident a short time later. The victim was transported to hospital by EMS and has since been released. LPS adds, as this was a targeted incident between two individuals known to each other, they say there is no evidence to suggest ongoing risk to the general public.
These incidents have occurred not just in encampments over the last years, right? There's firearms-related incidents in all areas of the city. And, you know, what I would say to the public is that we're out there, we're being as proactive as we can with the resources we have. We live in this community too, and our kids go to the same schools, etc. So we're concerned about public safety as well, and we're doing all we can to ensure that public safety. And you know, at times we rely on other community partners as well. And, you know, we're just going to continue to do that.
For Bridge City News, I'm Naveen Day.
Thank you, Nav. And there was an update to that story midweek. Nathan Parker, Spear Chief, faces a variety of charges, including aggravated assault, assault with a weapon, and discharge of a firearm with the intent to endanger life. A 33-year-old man was shot in the leg. He was taken to hospital, treated, and has since been released. Spear Chief remains in custody awaiting his bail hearing. In other news, Lethbridge police have charged a 40-year-old woman with attempted murder in connection with an incident where a 54-year-old woman was taken hostage at a law office Thursday afternoon. At approximately 1:30 p.m. on July 14th, police responded to a report of an armed female inside Lethbridge Legal Guidance along the 400 block of 5th Street South. 4 employees were working when a 40-year-old woman entered the building and asked to speak to a specific lawyer. When she was advised the lawyer wasn't available, she asked to use the restroom. After approximately 10 minutes, she exited and pointed a handgun at employees, threatening to kill them. The subject also produced a knife and forced a 54-year-old woman into an office and closed the door. At approximately 3 p.m., members of the critical incident team entered the building and the 40-year-old subject was taken into custody. The victim had been stabbed multiple times in the neck and remains in hospital in serious but stable condition. Police have charged Courtney Louise Shaw with attempted murder, among other charges. A Lethbridge gymnastics coach has been charged with sexual assault and sexual interference of a minor. It's alleged that 33-year-old Jamie Ellicott assaulted a 7-year-old girl between May and June while the child was attending sessions at the Lethbridge Gymnastics Academy. He was charged without incident on Tuesday and is to have no contact with the victim or have any contact with anyone under the age of 16 without adult supervision. Police say so far, no one else has come forward or been identified. The investigation into the matter continues. The province has announced that September 1st will officially be recognized as Alberta Day. It's to celebrate our province's cultural heritage and its unique place in Confederation. On September 1st, 1905, the Alberta Act came into effect, formally establishing the province of Alberta. Premier Kenney says Alberta Day won't be a statutory holiday, but will recognize Alberta's unique culture and spirit.
We rightfully celebrate Canada Day. It's time that we also celebrated this place we call home.
No, it's not a statutory holiday, but because we have Labor Day proximate, right? Labor Day, depending on the year, it might sometimes be right around there. So no, we already have a statutory holiday, and we can. But this is about taking one special day of the year, setting it aside, and actually celebrating this province.
Well, that's it for me from the Calgary Stampede. But when we return after break, we're going to meet up with Hal Roberts, who speaks with a UCP leadership candidate, Rebecca Schultz. Stay with us.
People have some very real concerns right now, whether that be affordability or healthcare or education. And so, that's really the voice that I try to bring to the table.